everyone, Dan from howtorn.com here, and I've got a question about placenta previa. So the maternity nurse is preparing for the admission of a client in the third trimester of pregnancy who is experiencing vaginal bleeding and has a suspected diagnosis of placenta previa. The nurse reviews the healthcare provider's prescriptions and should question which prescription. So the first thing you have to know is what placenta previa is. So placenta previa is basically, here's your uterus. Normally, the placenta will implant maybe a little higher up, but in placenta previa, it attaches very close to the cervical os. So there's the uterus, but there's actually this little opening here, and it's called the cervical os. And sometimes what will happen is draw one more time, is the placenta will implant over the os and block it. And then, what you as the nurse need to know is one very important thing that we'll get to. So the other thing that you need to know in this question stem is should question which prescription. So that means which one of these is something the nurse should not do. So prepare the client for an ultrasound. That seems reasonable for a patient with placenta previa. There's no harm, little to no harm. There's no harm to the baby with an ultrasound, and it gives the nurse and providers information to act on. Prepare to draw a hemoglobin and hematocrit blood sample. That is meant to mislead you because they tell you she's bleeding, so they might want you to think, oh, maybe we need to check that to see how badly she's bleeding, but that's not what they want in this question. And the last thing is obtain equipment for external electronic fetal heart rate monitoring. So in this case, all patients that come in with vaginal bleeding are going to get electronic fetal heart rate monitoring externally. That's the key, externally. Because here is again your uterus and your cervical os and then your placenta. If you are to manually insert anything into the cervix there and cause trauma to the area, you could cause bleeding and an adverse outcome. So as a nurse, you need to know not to perform any manual pelvic examinations for patients with placenta previa. That's the key. So I hope this helped you out. If you have any more questions, come over to the school community, the Discord community, or look at some more of the YouTube videos. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe.